Hello footprinters, Chrissy here. Okay, couple of readings. The first one is, how deep is the pile of doo-doo that Mike Pompeo is in? Especially as it's come out that he was on that phone call to the Ukrainian president with Trump. It was a conference call and he was on it. So that's the first question I'm going to ask. And the second thing, I did a reading on Mitch McConnell over the weekend because he'd been suspiciously quiet. And earlier in the week, I think it was Monday, I was watching it, Monday or Tuesday, and he came on and he said, well, if it comes to the Senate, we will have no choice but to bring it to the floor. Trump's lost McConnell. Various commentators have said there are things that McConnell can do to stretch things out, this, that, but he's just like, no, if it comes to the Senate, we will have to do it. We will have to take the vote as per the rules. This is from McConnell. McConnell's gotten all he's going to get from Trump. Trump's lost McConnell. So I'm going to have a look at that and have a look at how that event is going to play out. But first, Mike Pompeo. Do a Celtic cross with a word of warning, word of solace. And how deep is he in? How big a pile of cow dung is he in? Okay, so Mike Pompeo. Get this down a bit. There we go. On the bottom, 3 of Pentacles, the dirty money, the group work. He was in on the conference call between himself, Trump, Zelensky, whatever his name is. Oh, sorry, that was the second from the bottom. Third from the bottom is, first on the bottom was actually the 6 of Wands, the emissary, the messenger. He was supposed to act as an emissary or smooth things over for Rudy Giuliani. I think it also means he's going to be getting some messages as well. Anyway, the situation. 9 of Pentacles. He is worried about his position. He's been sitting pretty for a long time now, pretty much doing what he wants and ordering things the way he wants. Now that's in jeopardy. So he's worried about his position. The challenge, Princess of Wands. This is the Page of Wands, the orator, messages, news of investigations and actions. The challenge is what all these subpoenas from Congress and everything. What's he going to do about them? How's he going to handle them? Okay. The focus of the reading for him is the 4 of Pentacles. Again, 4 of Pentacles is this person is unlocking his chest to make sure everything's still there. He's really, really scared. He wants to find out if he's checking that things are still there. He's clinging. He's scared that he's lost everything he has. And I think that that's the focus of the reading for Pompeo too. He's really scared that he's going to lose everything. Okay, the past for him, the King of Pentacles. This is one of my favourites of the King cards because it's got the boar's head on one side, like with all the flames, and the little bird with the clear blue skies, the bad influence, the good influence. And the bad influence in this case, it's just really standing out. The red flames, the boar's head, the influence that Trump has had on him and on his career. And this poor little birdie, he's just tiny at the moment, and it's like, this is his conscience. And his conscience just was never able to stand up to Trump. And I don't think he really had much of a conscience in the first place. That is my opinion, okay? Now, the present for him, Four of Swords. He's just sitting back, taking a little rest, and he realises that he could be forced to withdraw altogether, resign. I think he might even be thinking about it, rather than being forced to. That's what's in his mind at the present. The near future for Pompeo, rebirth, judgment. He is definitely going to be judged. Big time. Whether or not he resigns or not, he's still going to end up in front of Congress answering for his actions. What's in his environment at the moment? The Five of Pentacles. He is really feeling out in the cold. I don't think Trump gives... Well, we all know that Trump doesn't give a rat's about anybody who he gets involved in him. And he's really feeling out in the cold. I think he feels like he's lost the respect of a lot of people. People with, you know, keeping not so much judgment about the whole Ukrainian thing as far as he was concerned. They were, yeah, well, but the minute they found out that he was on that phone call, out in the cold. Out in the cold. Lost a lot of respect from a lot of people. What others see? Others see somebody whose run is coming to an end. The end of his time as Secretary of State, and possibly someone whose actions have helped speed along the end of this administration. What is his fear? Nine of Cups. This is the wish fulfillment card, but it's also the card of indolence, overindulgence, the greedy merchant. He fears he's going to get brushed with the same brush as Trump. He fears he's going to end up in courts for the rest of his life like Trump. He fears he's going to just be viewed as he's no better than that greedy merchant in the White House. And he fears that people are going to get their wish, that the whole lot's going to come tumbling down. What does he hope? He's hoping for someone with lots of resources to come along and help him out. He's hoping he has the resources to get through this. It could be the financial resources. It could be the resources. Hello, Bubba. It could be the resources of support, friends. It could just be the resources of being able to afford a lawyer and things like that. Legal support. That's what he hopes. He hopes he's going to have those resources on his side. What's the outcome for Pompeo? The Prince of Pentacles. This is the card of the mercenary. It's also the card of the lawyer. He's going to need a lawyer because he's in a lot of trouble. in a lot of trouble and he's going to need legal advice. I think he's going to end up in court. He could even be charged with something. Word of warning for him. You're in for a lot of very, very anxious time. A lot of anxiety. You're in for a very anxious period. It's not going to be over. It could be relatively short, but it could take a while. These things go through a cycle. The 9 is nearing the end of the cycle, but you're not there yet. You've still got a very anxious period ahead of you. Word of solace. The Lovers. There's still going to be people who will maintain their relationships. Not everyone is going to abandon him. You know, he may have lost the respect of a lot of people and he may be in a little bit of trouble, but not everyone's going to abandon him. He's still going to have people there for him and in his life who want to be in his life and care about him, and that's a word of solace. There's going to be those relationships. Those really important relationships to him are going to maintain and stay, which is, you know, there's very few people in the world you want left with, that you want to have left without a soul to care for them. If that's what you want for people, then it's a bit, I don't want that for anyone. Very few people have thought, well, they don't deserve to have a soul who cares for them, and I even feel that way. I even feel that way about number 45. You want at least a couple of people to, you know, there are a few people who are just evil and don't deserve to have any soul that cares for them, but, you know. And trust me, I'm not a fan of Pompeo, I'm not a fan of Bolton, I'm not a fan of, especially not a fan of Trump and that acolyte of his, Stephen Miller, but all that. But, yeah. Okay, so that is Mike Pompeo. He's in deep doo-doo. He's got a bit of a rough time ahead of him, and it's not going to go away very quickly. He's still got quite a lot to face up to, and, you know, but even if he loses everything, he's still going to have people there to care for him, to care about him. So, you know, but he is in danger of losing everything. He's lost a lot of respect by a lot of people. Now, Mitch McConnell. Let's have a look. Has the turtle turned? I think he has. I said that the other day. But is him saying we'll have to try it if it gets through the House, is that him signalling the rest of the Republicans we're done with him, you know? I think everyone may, but maybe Lindsey Graham, yeah, Limpet Lindsay will, you know, maybe take their cue from McConnell. I think he's telling them, you know, do what you think is best and we'll back you up. Yeah, whatever. So we'll do an overview of this situation. Okay, so how is this going to affect Trump? How is this gonna help is Mitch McConnell's stance on bringing it to the floor if it goes through the House going to increase the chances of Trump resigning. How's that? Let's do an overview. The Hierophant, government. The government will win out. Not the administration, the government. They're two different things. The administration is not the government. Okay? This is the government. Yes, it's a part of government, but it's a branch of government, but government as a whole is going to win out. Okay, wow. The first thing that comes up, the world completion. Trump's time in the White House is coming to an end quicker. I mean, it is a major arcana, so there's still going to be a little bit of time, but it has sped up the process. Current influences from Mitch McConnell and his announcement. Temperance, coming to understanding, bargaining, finding a balance. Senate Republicans are probably talking with House Republicans and probably with Democrats as well. They're working to find that balance. What's over it? What do they want to think about? Their Dominion plans. They're thinking about Trump's attempt to have controlling dominion over the Ukrainian government with that threat. And they're thinking about it really, really hard. And what about this thing with the Australian government, him wanting them to investigate Alexander Downer, who was the person who started all this, because he reported his conversation with George Stephanopoulos, that guy. And please, it's just hilariously funny to me that Alexander Downer was the man who started the whole process to bringing Trump down. So it's just, it will always be funny. Anyway, I'm not going to do a reading on that phone call with Morrison and anything. I'm trying to steer clear of Australian politics because, I don't want things reflecting back on so anyway, what happens next? The Eight of Swords. This is legal confinement, immediate future, near future. Trump is going to feel confined. He's going to feel painted into a corner like he's never felt before. He's been painting himself into a corner, but he's gonna make me feel cornered for a whole different reason now, because he's gonna realize that the party's turned against him. What don't they want to think about? What's under it? This is justice. They know that things aren't just going to stop if they impeach Trump and get him out of office. They know that quite a few of them are going to have to face some justice and face up to their behaviour and answer for their behaviour. And they don't want to think about it. Recent past. That was a Tower moment. That was, remember I said when I was doing a reading for Trump over the weekend, there was a Tower moment, there was a Tower, a Five of Swords, a Five of Pentacles, and the Death card. That was it. And this is part of that, because it's in the past position. And what is next? new offers, new resources, new plans. They're planning to look at the way that they're looking towards 2020 now and how they can use their actions for benefit. It doesn't have to be about money, it's just about benefit. They're generating new ideas amongst themselves about how they can go out and talk to people, talk to the Republicans and say, no, we did the right thing. This is why we did the right thing. They're starting to think about all that. And so for Trump, it's bad. For them, they're starting to think about ways to talk it up. What they've done by not supporting Trump. We'll do another one of these. Two of Swords, yes, they're coming to the time where they have to make the decision to say yes if it gets to the House, or to say to the Senate, or to say no. If it gets to the Senate, will they say yes? Seven of Wands. Whatever decision they make, they're going to have to defend themselves they're going to have to stand their ground. They're going to have to stand their ground when it comes to it and not be intimidated or bullied by anyone. And they're going to have to explain it to their constituents. Let's have one quick look at this one. The Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups, I think in the reading I did for Trump for October, this came up and I said, no, this represents medication. And this is for the near future. They're really going to have to do something to calm him down. And it could be medication. Anyway, my darling footprinters, that's it for me for tonight. I'll get this loaded up and love you all. Cameo loves you all. And hey Baba, say hello. We'll see you at the next reading. Okay, bye-bye.